Welcome. This is RiaTalk for real people, where we're always keeping it real about real life. And here's your host, Maria.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Real Talk for real people. Let's talk.
Okay, what are we getting into tonight?
I would like to tell people to knock it off. You know, when your kids are roughhousing or keeping up too much noise, you like, hey, knock it off. Stop teasing your sister. Stop teasing your brother. Knock it off. That means be done with that foolishness. So I'm going to tell you your relationship. Be done with that foolishness. Foolishness. Knock it off.
I just have a question. Knock off what foolishness in the relationship? I'm confused.
I'm getting ready to tell you what the foolishness is. Whatever you think your foolishness is, we all know it when something. What do you have to knock it off? Come on. Maybe you tease your spouse too much. Maybe you're grumpy too much in the relationship. Sometimes maybe in the relationship you're always fussing about something. Knock it off. Knock it off. Sometimes even when you have a legitimate gripe with your spouse, I always tell people, once you write it down, it's out of your mind. It's not as much on your mind anyway. It helps you it gives you clarity. It helps you to know what you're mad about. Sometimes a person can be mad for so long that they just know, I'm just mad. I'm just mad. And they don't know what they're mad about. They've been mad so long. But you need to articulate. You need to speak it. Write it down first so you can articulate it in the most calm way that you can. I'm not telling you to be like some people, like calm down. That is my number one thing. You do not tell Maria to calm down. For one thing, honey, I believe in let's get loud. If you don't like loud, you don't like me. So I don't like to tell people calm down. Mm-hmm. I would like to say these things will calm you down. You'll calm yourself. I don't have to tell you to calm down. I'm going to stay calm. And my calmness, you will generally, when people are talking with each other and speaking with each other, if there's one person that's hyper and all upset, I've done this so many times with my clients, and it's good for them. I generally let them vent, especially when they come in all hostile or upset, or maybe not even hostile, but sad and crying. I let them speak it on out. I'm the calm person in the room. When you're dealing with one calm person, other people will become calm as they can feel your vibe of calmness. Like people love to say, I'm gonna give you that same energy. Just know, my name Veronica. I'm gonna give you that same energy. No, don't do that. Bye, Veronica. We don't need you, that type of thing in the relationship, Veronica. But anyway, this is what I mean by knocking it off. If you are upset, and I like this about me, is that I've learned when I feel as if I am too irritated, too angry, I go to my room. I generally take a nap and rest to calm down because I feel like I don't want to be out of character. I don't want someone to take me out of character because I'm in a highly emotional stage. And if we do a highly emotional state, if you, like some people say, I'm never in it, where wouldn't want to be in relationship with you. God is a God of emotions. He so loved us. Love is an action word. People are like, oh, they make you scared that you got emotion. They make it feel like to be, oh, you're so emotional. And especially people, I'm going to call it people who generally are not black people. They always say black people so emotional. Where it's not black people going, generally speaking, killing little children in Uvalde. It's not black people that's going to Boston Marathon, killing people in the marathon or going to the churches killing people. God gave all of us emotion. Those people who are doing all those killings, they are emotional. That's why they're doing it. But they're turning emotions can be positive or negative. They're turning negative and they're having negative consequences. It's killing innocent people. So they haven't dealt with their emotions. It's just it became a powder keg, a powder keg, and they have exploded. But they've been feeling those emotions a long time. They've been thinking about that a long time. It didn't just one day wake up, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to kill somebody in this black church, or I'm going to kill somebody in this synagogue in Pennsylvania, or whatever. They've been thinking about it for a minute. So what I say, getting back to knock it off, that person should have knocked it off. Some in his relationships, someone should have got a grip, helped him. I always say, and if you're a mother, this is a sidebar. If you have a son, we allow girls to express their emotions. We allow them to cry. Crying is a human thing. Smiling is a human thing. But we'll let boys smile, but we won't let them cry. Mm-hmm. So they feel like they must hold it inside. Don't do that to your son. Let your son have a safe place. Everybody should have a safe place where they are free to be exactly who they are. They can cry, I'm sad today, I'm hurt. I always say home should be a safe place. Now, getting back to knock it off, and I'm glad I said home should be a safe place. When you are in relationship with your spouse should always know that home is a safe place. And if that person doesn't think that home is a safe place, knock it off. Not just your spouse. I don't want to just linger on the spouse. You should feel, each person, the husband and the wife should feel that home is my safe place. It's my place where we all wear masks. They're required. If I'm the boss at my office, I must wear the boss's hat or mask. That's not, when I'm a boss at work, but I'm a spouse at home, I'm not being a boss then. I'm a mother, I'm not being a boss, I'm being a mother. I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm not being a boss. But we can also look at all these things as masks. And but when you come home, you could take off all of those titles, all of those masks, and be authentically who you are. Just be who you are. And so I say their relationships are an intimate web. Maybe you could even look at it as fabric that is finally woven. I remember a scripture, I believe is also in Proverbs. Proverbs is I just love Proverbs. I love many scriptures, but Proverbs and Songs of two books in the Bible that are my favorites. That says a threefold cord is not easily broken. Talking about a marriage. This means talking about things that are intertwined. Like a person like my daughter, I have a daughter that likes to crochet and knit and she be intertwining all those different colors in the threads, and that made me think of marriage. And if you got two, a husband and a wife, a husband is one thread, a wife is another thread, and God is that third thread. A threefold cord is not easily broken. And if you do not have God in your relationship, like sometimes sometimes it's hard to talk to your spouse about something. Sometimes it's because you don't want to be judged. Or you think they're going to be mad with you, which they probably will. But if somebody loves you, they will understand. People don't want, I think it's not even that people feel they won't understand. You don't want to get the consequences of your bad behavior. Why I understand you, it's just like a person in criminal court. In most criminal cases where one person has injured another person, nine times out of 10, you will be called. You will be charged. You will be charged. I never forget something. This is a sidebar, but it's still talking about knock it off in your relationship. And part of knocking it off is stop not taking responsibility for your behavior, for your bad behavior, and not want to have any consequences. You can make those choices, but you cannot try to control the consequences. Like I always say, people like to throw their rocks and hide their hands. You know, in your relationship, we throw many rocks. You like people say, oh, abuse can be a rock. I know of a woman who was married. Her husband beat her time and time again. He was abusive. Let me tell you, before a man get abusive physically, he's going to be abusive emotionally. He's going to start there to see if it's okay. And I always say you teach people how to treat you. He may not say it in his mind. He may not even know that's what he's doing because it's so automatic. It's part of that's his MO. And he sees that he can injure you emotionally of being abusive. I always stop. We're talking about the web of relationships, and I'm telling you things that I'm telling you to knock it off. Abuse. And some people say abusive man cannot be rehabilitated, or abusive woman. Generally, it's the man. So and I'm gonna tell you like the Bible. When the Bible said, let us, in Genesis 1, the first chapter in Genesis, let us make man into our own image. I want you guys to go with me here. Go with me. Mm-hmm. And when he's talking about man, he's talking about human. So if I say man, just know I'm talking about human. But generally, we all know, generally, when we talk about murder, killing, maiming, a spouse is usually the husband. But he hides it. He burns her body, chops her up into different pieces and spread it out throughout America because he doesn't want the consequences of his behavior of murder, which is going to prison or being the death penalty. When we hide things, generally, that was very serious. But even lighter things, you know, I've seen many things broken in my home. And when things are broken, you ask, who did this? What happened? Who did? Nobody. People don't want to take the consequence of their action. So you broke it. What I need you to do is replace it. I always say, if I break something, I come to your home, if I break something, I'm going to take responsibility. You say, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it, but I want to make you whole. I broke it. It may not mean much to you, but it meant something to you because you had it in your house. I may not be able to get you the same thing because that may have been one of a kind, but it is my desire, and I'm going to put effort in trying to find the exact very similar thing. And this is what you need to do in relationships. Instead of, if you are an abuser, you need help, anger management. And this is how you knocking it off. This is how you're going to knock it off. Go into your quiet place, because we all, you know, the biggest conversation we have with anybody is with ourselves. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you think about it, it really, a person may never say it, but we know your mind, you're constantly having conversation with your mind. I want you, while you're in conversation with your mind, remember this. Say to yourself, whenever you know you acting crazy, or you being taken out of character, because sometimes we're not human, we are human, so we let people take us out of character. Actually, it's not people taking us out of character. Our reaction to what people have said or done, and we're not catching ourselves. We choose at that moment to we allow that person's action and us to respond in a way that is not who you want to be or who you really are. So we call that taking you out of character. So you have to catch yourself. When you see that we can feel when your temperature is rising. When your temperature is rising, you know you getting ready to get it on with someone, with your spouse. Go and take a shower. Go for a walk. Go to the gym. Knock it off. And any way you need to do, knock it off. Playing in a negative way. I once had a counsel with a couple, and the husband was always teasing his wife, and to him, he thought it was harmless play in a negative way. Always saying something negative to her, but he thought it was funny. But you know what? It spoke to me. It spoke volumes about where he was in his life emotionally. That all he could think when he wants to be funny, or he's going to be negative about his spouse. You know, I always say, hurt people hurt people. I said that person is harboring a lot of hurt. And I say, what tools or strategy can I suggest? Because you can't change anybody. You can give them tools, you can give them strategy, but that person, like I always say, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So I would take you to the water, like they say, take me to the water to be baptized. Now we people, those of us that's from the southern part of the country, we know what that means. Take me to the water to be baptized. That means when I get in the water, I want to change. I want to be different. Take me to the waters. Take me to the waters to be baptized. Change me, Jesus. Change me, God. But God has given you the power to change yourself. And you like, how do I do it? Because I want to. Reach out to somebody. Reach out to an expert. Just reach out to anybody. They may guide you to the right source that you need. Strategy. But you got to be willing. You got to be willing to change. You got to be willing to knock it off. Now, I'm going to go back. Because as I was saying, relationships are intricate webs woven with emotions, aspirations, expectations. I always say, you know, when you end a marriage, or you getting ready to end a marriage, you end in a dream. You end in expectations. You expected to have a lifetime together. You expected to grow old together. So you aspire to walk the life journey together. That's what we all aspire to in marriage. And you can get there. But you got to be willing. When I said willing, you got to want this thing. You got to want it. And if you want it, you'll put some work on it. I always say love is an action word. You will act on your desire. And there are a few things that can threaten this intricate thread called relationship. And I want you to knock it off. Now, these are the things that could cause a breakdown in your relationship, in the very fabric of your relationship. Oftentimes, we like to call it communication. People love to say, oh, relationships, it's a miscommunication. Sometimes I don't quite understand what people mean when they say a miscommunication. Could you be more specific? What did we miss? What did we miss? Ask yourself that. It sounds good. It was a miscommunication. What did we miss? Maybe you just wanted to do it and you want to blame it on communication. Be more specific. Sometimes the people we lie to the most and we trick the most is ourselves. That's why I tell people write things down, because in writing it down, you have to think about the word that you're writing. So you can communicate properly to yourself. One of the major threats to relationship, to the fabric of your relationship is lies, or should I say, are lies, or is a lie. That threatens the relationship. Infidelity threatens the relationship. Destructive patterns threatens the relationship. Even the pattern of you teasing your spouse in a negative way, that's a pattern of behavior. That's a threat to your family, to your relationship. Gambling, that's a threat to your relationship and your finances. If you come home and the lights are off and you know you told your spouse you paid the light bill, the electricity, you pay for electricity, and really you went gambling with it. That's a threat. When you think about drugs, your spouse see you acting weird. She may even know that you're a recovering drug addict. I once talked with a couple and they told me they met in recovery. I didn't know how to express it. It took me a long time to express it to these people because I wanted to help them, and I'm always wanting to help people. The reason I'm speaking to you today, I always say Maria has a help disease, if there's such a thing. I love helping people. I guess because I love people. And if I can help you in your mind, in your relationship, if I can help you to knock it off and help you to be cognizant of the things that threatens the fabric of your relationship, such as abuse, drugs, gambling, infidelity, lies, and unresolved conflicts. If, for example, I'm going to give an example, unresolved conflicts. If, for example, your spouse had a child before you guys were married, and he told you, I have a child, we're going to get married, but I want you to welcome my child as if she was yours. But once you get married and you start having your own 2 or 3 children with your spouse, you always act funny when the child that's not yours come over. And he always have to speak to you about how you're treated. You're showing preference to your children, to the children you guys have together. Now you have to say to yourself, see, it's a pattern. You've developed a pattern of treating this child differently, not mistreating her necessarily, but not showing her the love and affection that you show to your children while she's there. This child can see it, but you knew this man had a child. I always say, really, when I love someone, when you love someone, you love your spouse, and you knew he didn't get the child. Now, I can't tell you what to do if he got that child while you guys were married. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to tell you about that. But if you knew he had that baby, and you agreed that when you get married, that baby will become part of the family. But he constantly has to talk to you about the way you treat his child. You have unresolved conflict regarding this child. I want you to talk to yourself about it first. Write it down. Why am I having conflict with this child about this child and treating her differently? If you love your husband, you should love his child. He already told you about it. He didn't hide it. I can understand if he cheated on you and hid it from you. That is different. But he was forthcoming and he told you, and you promised. You said you would treat her right. You would treat her as if she's your own. When she's there, when she comes to visit, to stay for the summer and come for holidays. But I want to tell you, knock it off. Those are things that would destroy your relationship, the very fabric of your relationship. Knock it off.
Okay, that's it for RiaTalk. Please leave your comments and your compliments below or on our Instagram account at RiaTalk. We're growing, guys. You can find this podcast on all podcast platforms. Just search for RiaTalk. And lastly, remember to like, follow, and subscribe to RiaTalk, and we will see you next week.